Hello from the land of TV. This is King Kool with another episode of King Kool's Distracted Movie Reviews. Today on the show, we're going to be reviewing XXx State of the... Oh my god, you gotta be kidding me. That was fast. Oh, wow. That's going to add a fail, I think. Oh, today on the show, we're going to be reviewing XXx State of the Union, which was suggested by Vigafre. Well, not suggested by him specifically, but he went and said, Ice Cube movies. So, and he suggested two others. I took it at a different direction. You can feel free to suggest a movie like that, like a movie by this person or this director or something of that nature, if you like. So, I'm gonna be honest, wasn't a super big fan of this one. I had a lot of notes, so I guess I had a lot to talk about. But I want to start with the things that I liked about it first. Man, these are going forever. This is going to be so dumb to have you guys sitting here watching me. I'm hardly distracted at all. But I want to talk about what I liked about it. I did like there's actually opening credits, because this is going to sound really silly, but lots of movies now are simply forgoing them, which might be a good move, but the art of making an opening credit sequence is almost lost. And I think if a movie, if it's not like The Matrix and there's sort of a reason to just sort of put people in just right away, then I think they should probably still do it. But the problem is that a lot of times you'll look in the cast order and you'll be like, huh, why are they listed second and this person's listed fifth? And it's like, oh great, well that person's the secret murderer or something. Like, if you don't believe me, check out the credits for 88 minutes and you'll be like, huh, that person is anomalously high in the list. They're the killer! So, yeah. Things I liked. Let me flip my paper over. You know, I liked Ice Cube a bit. Wasn't really... This guy's AFK. What the hell? I liked Ice Cube as his thing because he's, you know, at least, genuinely, you know, I could believe it when he's, like, you know, beating people up, which he's sort of betrayed by the filmmaking because, they often speed him up and it makes it look really dumb. It's like, you know what, if you just let him hit someone, I bet he would probably look pretty real, or just let him fake it. There's a sequence where he's being hunted down by people and they're using thermal imaging, and so he microwaves a bunch of food to misdirect it, and they're like, oh, there it is, and the guy's walking through the kitchen, and he leaps out of the fridge and gets someone. It's like, you know what, that's pretty awesome, to watch Ice Cube leap out of a fridge. And then there's the fight scene towards the end, which is in the kitchen, which is actually the only scene where I was sort of getting excited. Okay, that's the edge of the map. I don't want to fall off that this time. Oh, how ridiculous. Here we go. So I like that, but the problem is that, one, it's the only truly effective fight scene in the entire... Oh god, we're voting for maps already? I'll vote for something. See the missile. Oh, damn it. You know, there's a scene where, he gets stabbed through the arm, and then he sort of continues on. He's still like, ah, my arm doesn't work. But it's like, man, like, that would totally be a bigger injury than it would be regular type. It's like, no one ever seems to get stabbed, and then it's like, okay, that arm just does not work anymore. It's like, he was pinned to a wall, I think, by the knife, and it's like, dude, did that go through his bone? Did that go through all his tendons? That arm is gone. He's gonna have a stump now, is what's gonna happen. You know? So, I don't know. But I did like that scene enough. And there's one point where he's disguised as a waiter in this ceremony, and he has to try to get away. So he runs to the kitchen, and there's a million people dressed exactly like him. They say, it's black, it's a black guy, it's a waiter. And then they go in there, and there's a million of them. But then you see him running outside, and he's like, ah, I'm out. And then 3 people come up, and they've already found him. It's like, well, that certainly didn't take long, did it? See, when I looked at the little flap of that said who directed it, like on the Netflix thing, and it said Lee Tamahori, I was like, oh great, the guy who died another day. And it's like, oh great, I'm in for a treat now, aren't I? And then I looked, it's like, oh, who directed the first one? Oh, Rob Cohen, the guy who directed Mummy 3, which was one of my least favorite movies ever. Yeah, let's go with Lee Tamahori, why not? But that's all the good news. Now here's some of the bad news. The bad news is the reason I decided to do this in TF2 is because if I did it in an episode where I could bring up the inanimate players, we would be here all night. Man, this is chugging. Is that just me? No. We would be here all night if I listed all these cliches. So I'm going to start naming them. I think we're actually switching maps. Let's say there's that one line where they explain why a character isn't there. Oh, nope, we're still going. There's one line where they explain why a character isn't there. Why they explain why Vin Diesel didn't get enough money or whatever. There's the obvious betrayal of the beautiful and strangely accommodating woman. There's the Deus Ex Machina device, which is shown to by the techno guy, who's like, hey, look at this new device I've invented. This will do this for you. It's like, okay, this is going to come up. What's strange enough, I don't think it really does. It's brought up again. I don't think it's actually used the way they, it's meant to be. I might just be completely daft in this, but... Oh, fuck us. That sucks. Then there's the line which is in every movie except for, every movie and their dog, which is, you're gonna have to jump! And then there's underwater bullets whizzing by. And then there's the fireball that only kills bad guys. And then, I swear to God, there's the interrupted kiss, which I just did. Although, he's actually going after her shoulder, so whatever. And then, there's something I think I heard Paul of Loading Ready to Run bring up once, which is the stealth helicopter. The helicopter that only appears once people are aware of it. It's like, once it comes on screen, chop, 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 chop. You know what? Helicopters are loud. Helicopters are really loud. This is baloney. Oh, I guess we're staying here. So yeah, if I brought out the inanimate players, we would be here all night, to say the least. Like, that's not necessarily to say that this movie is bad, because I don't want to give off that impression. It's harmless enough. It's lightweight. I guess other people who find it, like, if you like cars a lot more than I do, maybe you'll find it fun. The map is so small. Jeez. Oh, jeez. Where was I? Like, you know, an Ice Cube, when they start the movie, I haven't brought this up yet, but they start the movie and, he's like, we need a new XXX. We need someone with attitude. And it's like, if I was the nostalgia critic, I would be cutting to the opening of Power Rangers right now with Zordon saying, Alpha, we just escaped. Recruit a team of teenagers with attitudes. It's like, come on already. What else? Like, at one point, you know, Ice Cube is, you know, he's a basic grump and a badass, and when he gets out of prison, at first he's like, there's one thing y'all, everyone coming out of prison wants, you know what I'm saying? And I say to myself, I'm like, he's gonna get a hamburger. And then they go and get a hamburger. It's like, well, I can smell this movie's thoughts before I even think them, which would make me like the bad guy, because I think the bad guy says that at one point. There's one F word, because there always has to be one F word in a PG-13 movie. Well, I think now's a good time to take an intermission for that game show that's sweeping the nation. How loud is that chip? Today on the show, we have Funyuns onion-flavored rings. Yummy. There is one scene where I sincerely laughed. I'll say this, where they hijack a truck that's shipping cheese, where it turns out they're actually shipping weapons. And one of the drivers is played by Bruce. Bruce is a comedian. He's really funny. He's this big old guy. That is funny, because they go out and, you know, the guy who invents all the white guy who invents all the devices, he goes up and says, hi, we're gonna have to take your car. And they're both like, the two guys are like, oh, we can't go out and say we got hijacked by a white guy. Let's go say it with 75 black guys. It's like, okay, that was funny. But at the end of the day, this movie is just not very exciting. It's just, it's quite dull. I'm not going to say dull. Dull is too far, but you have to care more about cars than I do. Because they brag about these fancy-ass cars. This car costs $500,000 and it does this. I'm not saying, like, extravagant stuff. I'm not talking pimp my chair, which is ironic. I said pimp my chair instead of pimp my... Oh, I'm such a Lear fanboy. Pimp my ride instead of... it's not extravagance. It's just power, you know, in cars, which I'm not really bothered by. This is going to go on forever. Jeez. Is there another angle I can get? Oh, check this out. You know, it's sort of like, I don't care about cars. If you love cars, you'll like this. And you probably like Fast and the Furious. And the other, man, that took forever. And probably like the other things. It's more lightweight than Event Horizon. But if it's on TV, I would watch it. What the hell? I want to point out another canned sound effect I heard. There's a lot actually in this movie, but a lot of them are intermingled. But there's this sound effect when he pulls a gun out of a holster. You probably have heard this sound effect somewhere else. And it's like, come on. It's like, when you pull a gun out of a holster, it doesn't make noise necessarily. Oh, shit. Shit! It's a sound effect of a gun being pulled out of a holster. This little chunk thing. And it's like, I've heard that. I actually heard it in Max Payne. I didn't point it out, though. And I've heard it in Battle for Terra, when I watched that last year. I'm dead again. And it's just, if I, was not interested in keeping copyright people off my ass, I would probably post clips of all these things and show you what the sound sounds like, the way you can see, like, montages of the Wilhelm screen. So at the end of the day, I can't quite recommend it. Oh, something else. The bad guy in this movie, is in a certain position in government. I'm not going to say what, but he's somewhere in the line of in line for the presidency if the president dies. Now, if the president, the vice president, the senator pro tem, and the other people who all die, and he's made president, wouldn't that make him a prime suspect? Would they really, is that really his plan? It's like, wouldn't that be like everyone thinks, oh, he must have done it? This isn't a good plan. This guy's supposed to make good plans. It's like, this is dumb. You're selling an unusual hound dog and nappers for spite. Yeah, take that shit somewhere else, why don't you? So maybe you want to watch it on TV or whatever. I don't know. I can't recommend it. If it's on TV, sure, fine. But like, I wouldn't run out of your way to see this. In fact, today, Ryan Weber just released the full effects version of Ryan vs. Brandon 2, and I'm going to put a link at the bottom of this video. And it's going to stay there for the entire video. In fact, I'm going to let this thing run overtime so you can click it once I'm done talking. Watch that, and you will see how pale a movie like this is to even just concentrated action that can be made even by fans nowadays, and how movies like this just don't really live up. Like I said, it's good if it's on TV for free, you have Showtime or whatever network it's on, and it's happening anyway. Cool, but otherwise, I just can't recommend it unless you really love Ice Cube as well. He could be charismatic in his own strange way. There's one point where Sam Jackson's rude to him. He's like, hey, what? You ain't gonna say please? Like, you haven't said please once in this movie. People keep saying that. And now you're gonna act like that? It's like, come on. Politeness is a two-way street, as they say. I don't know if anyone says that. I just made it up. Maybe someone does. I am rambling. Anyway, that's it from me. If you want me to watch a movie, go ahead and suggest one. I'm open to any suggestions you have. Go ahead and let me know. Anyway, this is King Kool. Drive home safe. Funyun. Good time to get out.